Okay. Oh, there it goes. Let's talk about the life and suffering of Sir Brante, because I am slowly losing my mind. And I would just like to play a game without losing my mind. I think that could be neat. Um, so, everybody here, if you don't know this already, hi, surprise, I'm Demeist. I really like Ishgard. I just think it's neat. And a part of why I think it's so neat is I do like that sort of unapologetic bad guy with conviction. It is one of my favorite things in all of narrative, right? So I do like Dishonored is a really big cultural touchstone, and Dishonored 2. I really like the warfare overseers from the Abbey of the Everyman, and a part of the reason why I like them is not because they're good people. They are categorically bad people. But I like it because, and I like them because they are not wrong. The outsider is real. The outsider does give magic, and that magic is used for chaos, and there are plenty of weird cultists who do plenty of weird, messed up things for the outside in the outsider's name. Right? And that's a big trope about it. Witcher 3, similar cultural lodestone when it comes to fantasy games. And the witch hunters in there are similarly not wrong, right? There are cases in the world of Witcher and that the world that Martin Sapowetsky made that is all about the fact that the people who use magic, sorcerers and sorceresses, people who draw upon the source, are categorically doing it for selfish ends. Now, everybody's doing things for selfish ends, but that's a part of the reason why I like the Orthodox Church of Ishgard, and specifically all of the shenanigans in there, is the earnestness with which people do kind of messed up things. And so I've heard a lot of really good things about the life and suffering of Sir Brante, specifically with that regards. It's not a part of any larger fictional universe that I'm aware of. I believe it is a standalone. And that its setting in times of the fall of the blessed Archnean Empire. So, let's just get into it. Well, okay, I say let's just get into it. I lied. There's one more thing that we need to do, which is talk about the menu screen. There is a option in settings to get rid of animated illustrations. It was checked on by default, so I'm going to leave it on. I do actually like it, but if anybody gets motion sickness or anything from that, do let me know. We can, of course, turn it off. As always, I do recommend the website doesthedogdie.com. It's got a great many resources and assets for things that are going to tell you about potential sensitive content warnings that might be in a lot of forms of game and media and things like that. Because I do expect a lot of the themes to be quite serious and quite dark. And that's kind of exactly what we want. So, again, a lot of black and white, a lot of that sort of pencil styling, right? The sort of vibe that we could be getting is potentially even charcoal. There's a somberness to it, right? This person is obviously somewhat downcast. His vision is going downwards. He's clutching a book and a quill to his chest. What does that book and quill signify? Is he some sort of scholar or something like that? I mean, we are going to assume that he is the titular Sir Brante, but that could be foolishness on our behalf. The cuff and the collar bespokes a certain period, again with the religious iconography and the architecture in the background, right? We're not expecting science fiction. We're not expecting the Allegan Empire or Solution 9 or, like the answer to necessarily be aliens. There might be aliens, but that's not what the starting screen is telling us, right? So let's rock and roll. Oh no! Well, we have to. We have to do my preciousest boy. We have to do my preciousest, most innocent, most good boy. No, not nerd, but I appreciate the input, Top Hat. Yeah. Is Sir Brante Elish? No, but yeah. Plot twist. It's a feudal world in 40k and everything is chaos? No! It's okay, we'll join the Grey Knights. That's never gone bad for anyone before. Chapter restarts. I'm going to say no. Consequences. You'll see the consequences of your possible choices in advance. This is the recommended game mode, as you will want to be able to direct the character's fate in the way you want. Or not see the consequences of our actions. I'm not going to say that I don't know anything about this game, and so it's going to be horrifying. But let's rock and roll, hey? You hold the fate of a single man in your hands. Ayo, I'll hold his fate in my hands, if you know what I'm saying. You will follow his life from birth to death. Your choices shall define who Sir Brante will grow up to be. You will decide his personality, social status, and what mark he'll leave on history. With every step he takes at your behest, Sir Brante's character will change and evolve. Your decisions will close some doors for him, but open many others. Fuck yeah. The world of Sir Brante's birth is a ruthless realm where people are divided into estates. It's hard to be a hero here. Be ready to accept that Sir Brante cannot overcome every challenge in his path. Every hard choice will test his character and personal qualities. Often you will not be able to make the choice you would like to. It may happen because you chose a different road earlier, exhausted your hero's willpower, or haven't earned the right position in society. Hell yeah. Every victory will be a struggle, a path paved with bitter losses and gut-wrenching failures. Accept the tragedy. This is how you will create a gripping and unique tale for your hero. What will become of Sir Brante, his loved ones, and his world? It all depends on you.
The story of my life remains written on these pages. But my fate has always been my own. Every deed, every choice, every person I met made me what I am.
Yeah, okay.
Could I have taken a different path? Could I have found a different calling? Altered the very course of history? And what price would I have to pay?
That's some bass. I like this UI. Okay. The narrator stole my job. You know what? That narrator can steal my job any day of the week. And also DeMarcus says, I wonder if Sir Brante will have sisters. Bronte sisters? Is this a Brontosaurus bit? What is happening? I will say also, I imagine the story for Elish, my character in Final Fantasy XIV, to be very dark and bitter. And so, like, I'm, like, reveling in this. If you really like the shonen attitude and the positivity inside of Dawn Trail, maybe this one isn't for you, and I do apologize, but yeah. Oh, Emily Bronte, the English novelist. Gotcha, yeah. Maybe there's an ending where you can be a dinosaur. We don't know. It's true. Okay. Your fingers are stained with ink. Your breathing grows ragged, your hands are shaking. Yet the words begin appearing on the page before you one by one, clinging together to form a chronicle of your own life. Who are you? And how did you reach this end? Giving you darkest dungeon level of dark fantasy and you're here for it. It should not surprise anyone that my go-to team in Darkest Dungeon was Crusader, Vestal, maybe Arbalist, and Houndmaster. A classic team. You were born, raised, and lived your entire life in the blessed, Arknian Empire. In this land, a man's destiny is predetermined at the moment of his birth. Whether human or Arknian... No. You can't do this to me in yet another setting. I very purposefully make Elish not an Elysian, but that's another conversation for a later point in time. Whether human or Arknian, nobleman, priest, or low-born commoner, all bend to the divine will of the twin gods. Each life is naught but a single cog in the universe's immeasurable machine. The memories come flooding back. They engulf you as a merciless wave, binding together days that are thrice dead and gone. The dreams of your childhood. Oh, sorry, I don't know why the audio has borked up. No! The dreams of your childhood, your adolescence, your youth spent in the capital, years of peace teeming with life, and a world drenched in blood. High ranks and lowly deeds, opulent palaces, secretive city backstreets, fields of battle, and faces. So many faces of the people you held dear, the people who walked this road by your side. Such was your life, now all exposed by ink erupting onto the page. With your every step, you sought to change the world as you saw fit. The choices of your upbringing, the path you carved in your youth, the fruits of your struggle, the consequences of your sacrifice, all of it led you here, to the end of your time. And every choice had a price. Now, years and years later, the crossroads of your life echo in your memory, the pain and joy inextricably intermingled. So there was a very common, not necessarily theory, but a belief system that was going around, which was the great men of history, right? And it was the supposition that the right person at the right time could do the right thing. I don't prescribe to that belief system or, that sort of interpretation of history. I do believe that it's a very structuralist thing. I don't necessarily think that it has to be that special person. I think in the event that that particular special person wasn't there, the systems and the machinations of the world would have probably led to someone similar being put there. Which is not to say that people don't have impacts, and that's not, that I don't think Elish can't have that impact, but that I do think when it comes to writing interesting characters and having interesting characters, a part of it is the fact that sometimes a well-written character can be any character, right? Sometimes it helps for your character to be sort of bland and flavorless, because the alternative is making your character the most important character in any possible scene where they show up. And it's a little bit like that joke in The Simpsons about, like, whenever Cool Dog is not on the screen, I want every single character to be talking about Cool Dog, or whatever the name of that particular character was. And so that's the balancing act that we all do, right? We don't want our character to be so flavorless as to be a mouthful of sawdust or saltine crackers hold the salt, but we do want them to also be able to be written in a variety of situations, so that way we can write them in a variety of situations, which I think is a part of what they're emphasizing here. Oh shit, not the twin gods, their dictate deals double damage to all players. Of course, Tamarka, the Arknian Empire, famous setting in Magic the Gathering. Yeah. But what if I like sawdust soup? Then you can enjoy making your sawdust soup character, and here's the thing, every scene benefits from that sawdust soup character. You can put in a bland, flavorless character into any scene. Having my character can bench press 50 people on each arm and does a quintuple backflip makes your character kind of a weird person to have in a scene involving picking a cart up out of a rut in the middle of the road due to inclement weather. Makes your character a little bit weird to be involved in a fist fight because that character could just punch one person in the head and their entire head would explode. Now, having a character who's good at fighting but is not the best, now that's something anyone can interact with. But yeah. Could you have taken a different path, chosen a different calling, found a different place in the world? You had the power to alter the very course of history. I fundamentally do not agree with that sentiment, but the game is telling us that. Now, on the verge of death, you struggle with doubt, seeking answers to the last and most crucial question of all. Your life. Of all the paths in life, why did you walk this one? Did you choose your own fate? Or was it your life shaped by forces beyond your control? What determines a man's destiny? The man himself. Your life has always been yours to live. You made your own destiny. The world around him. Your path was charted for you by the people, the age, and the society in which you lived. A higher power. Your destiny was forged by a power greater than your own will. There is no destiny. Destiny does not exist. Human life is an exercise in chance. It is not governed by any laws. Ooh, okay, this is tough. If we are doing Elish, it's not a higher power, right? Especially if it was Elish on his deathbed. Halone doesn't answer the Ishgardian's calls. Elish changes to Azema in part because of that, and in part because of the spirit of inquiry, but ain't no higher powers getting involved in his life like that. Besides, the 12 might not even be real, smiles directly at the camera. The man himself, I don't think so, right? Because that's too much personal accountability, and I don't think Elish is capable of that, right? Like, the idea of Elish taking responsibility for some of his actions, absolutely not. The man is hubris incarnate. Anything that goes against him is in part because of forces beyond his control, conspiracies, and everything that he does well, in part, isn't necessarily due to his own ability either. He's been given gifts and abilities, he's been trained, he's been led to certain conclusions, right? So, I don't think it's that. And there is no destiny. Get your nihilism out of here. We're doing a heroic fantasy. If there's no destiny, then who's gonna be up on top of the mount giving Elish his prophecy? It's the world around him, for sure. The character is perfect, where's the story supposed to take them? Yeah. If the character is perfect, their struggle with that perfection can make up an interesting story. Not untrue, yeah. What is man but a miserable pile of secrets? One Punch Man feels like an example of that. One Punch Man definitely does. I will argue that there are failure points along the line, but I do see what you're saying 100%. You heard Elish on his deathbed and came running back to your keyboard. Welcome back. A perfect blorb struggling with it can be an interesting story, but in my opinion, it lends itself better to solo story writing versus collaborative story writing. Hitting the nail on the head, yeah. That's just the crazy old hermit that got kicked out for doing too many shrooms. All right, but the world around him. Prophecy can sometimes be the trappings of power, right? Your final hours in this world are upon you. You close your eyes. In your mind's eye, you see them once more, the faces of your family, your friends, your foes, your underlings, your rulers. One after another, you recall the events that changed you forever. And in that moment, you know the truth. You are a part of this world. You are its flesh and blood. Your family, your hometown, your empire. They all made you what you are. Your destiny was the sum total of your upbringing, your social status, other people's choices, and the age in which you lived. You guys are gonna have to, forgive me. I love self-indulgent prose. When the prose is feeling itself, I'm feeling the prose. So just expounding on something that can be said in one sentence by giving you paragraphs and paragraphs of it, that's unfortunately my writing style sometimes. But are you right? Is it all true? To learn the truth, you'll have to return to the very beginning, remembering every step you took along the way. On these pages, the story of a man named Elish Brante will live once more. Not thrilled with Elish Brante, but you know what? For people who don't know about this character, this is unfortunately my sort of a proxima to a self-insert character. Elish started back from a very doomed community RP thing called Far Verona, which was basically a space opera with a actual play D&D or TTRPG element to it. And Elish in there was basically doing meta psionics and basically did what's that thing in Everything Everywhere All at Once? Parallel universe stuff. He was basically accessing that sort of hypothesis, right? So there were billions and billions of iterations of Elish that he saw and could connect to, but the problem was is that even though it might feel like a prophetic vision, it wasn't. It was an entirely different world. So Elish might think he's seen what the winning lottery numbers are for the next drawing, but he hadn't, right? Because the problem is that that information was not useful to him. And so that caused him to be diagnosed with, all sorts of problems. He ends up going through like the House Serpens Academy of Psionics and all of that jazz, which is all ancient lore. None of that is relevant. But the Elish that exists now in this iteration started with that connection through the Echo. He has very much changed. He's very much not that original boy, but I do still keep in my backpack the Elish connected through parallel universe theory boy. And each Elish is more or less aware of the others, right? And that's a part of playing with it in the narratives, but there you go. The prose is super good, damned good prose. The phrase interminably intertwined made you smile earlier. Hell yeah. You're so sad you won't be able to stick around the entire stream. This sounds very good. We'll catch you, Wirebone. And trust me, I will upload the VOD. So yeah. He's my special little OC. We all have him. He's my little Blorbo. You get it. He's my last nasty little man in Final Fantasy XIV. But there are worlds in which he's just an innocent being. Okay. Yeah. Can you tell I think about Elish too much? But are you right about this? Is it all true? On these pages, the story of the man named Elish Brante will live once more. Childhood, adolescence, youth, peacetime, the revolt. Well, we kind of know where we're going. Chapter 1, Childhood. Oh man. You guys are gonna get way more insight into my character than I necessarily want you to have, so there you go. Chapter 1, Childhood. Childhood, where life begins. Alright, I do love prose that's feeling itself. Calm down. Yes, start with the beginning, and when you get to the end, stop. But sorry, okay. We're dialing back in. Childhood, where life begins. First words, first unsteady steps. You are but a small child, learning about the world in which you were born. To you, everything is so new, so baffling, and so unforgiving. A long, trying life stretches before you. So many feats and faults, so many fateful choices to come. Yet you are already sowing the seeds of your future self. You are learning to live and survive in this world, looking for a place within it to call your own, choosing your future destiny. Who will you grow up to be? Oh man. Also, notice up in the top left corner, we've got the year. The year is now 1118. Growing up. In chapters Childhood, Adolescence, and Youth, you will live through your hero's coming of age. You will shape the protagonist's personality, his qualities, and relationships. By the end of Prologue, you will determine the estate and future occupation of your hero. Only in adulthood will he start to influence the world around him and even the ultimate fate of the Empire. Who will Elish Brante grow up to be? It's your call. There is something a little ageist about this that I will say, like the idea that in your childhood and in your adolescence, youth, you aren't able to affect the world around you. And I do think that is a very dangerous belief that we purport in the real world today, right? That like, oh, well, you know, they're just a kid. And so there's a lot of like leeway that is given off of that I think is justified, but also sometimes a mitigating of impact and influence. So it is interesting to see it gamified and codified in a narrative standpoint here. But yeah. Hey, Sathis. You know those logistical questions you were asking me about Ishgard earlier? I don't know that we're necessarily going to get an answer about it here, but we sure are going to be vibing to the concept. You love you a good revolt revolution? I love me a good revolt revolution. We'll see how Elish feels about it. Chapter 1, Childhood. Personal life. Events in the personal life of the hero that can happen in this chapter. Fencing lesson. You dare to study fencing like your father, even though you have no right to it by birth? Buh. Beyond. As a small child, you suffer your first death and rebirth? Oh my god. Oh my god, y'all do not know. An epiphany. You experience an insight when your mother tells you about the ways of the world and the lots of its inhabitants. Nobleman's sacrament. You challenge the sacred order and attempt to seize a noble lot? Yo, hello? That conversation actually gave you an event idea. You're welcome, Sathis. Let me know if there's anything that either I can do to help or give me an invite. But yeah. Your personal qualities at this age, they determine what choices you may make. Determination, 0. Spineless. Your perseverance and strength of character, your ability to get your way. It affects your frame of mind and the skills you have when you grow up. So our options are spineless, active, resolute, and adamant. Now lads, I'm not going to say that Elish is a pathetic man. Perception, 0, inattentive. Damn, babies born truly miserable. Represents how attentive you are to the other people and the world around you, your ability to comprehend and learn. It affects your frame of mind and the skills you have when you grow up. You can be inattentive, curious, inquisitive, insightful. Your inner strength and the number of lesser deaths that you have experienced. These qualities will stay with you for your entire life. We have willpower 0, which is actually ready for action. Your remaining inner strength and the readiness for action, you spend it on difficult choices. So we're ready for action. We could be exhausted, which is us in the negatives. We could be full of power, or we could be prepared for anything. We have also been untouched by death, which is wacky. After suffering a lesser death, one is reborn. One who dies a true death faces the judgment of the twin gods. So we can die up to 4 times. When we die our 4th time, it's sort of implying game over. So funny. Mr. Streamer, I am reporting for your enjoyment that I am missing Emmett Selt keychains. I am in agony. Wirebone, you could not be missing a better absolute sumgum. These spicy options, this is a crazy-ass childhood. These are things that can happen, not necessarily things that have, but also. Yeah, no worries, Sathis. And if anything, what the heck are you doing here? Go get to your events, you hooligan. Sections that open in this chapter: Destiny screen is available, Personality screen is available, House of Brante screen is available, Family screen is available. Family. Our grandfather was Gregor Brante, nobleman of the mantle. Status, we don't know how he's doing. Relationship, he's indifferent to us. Just like my actual grandfather. I don't know if that's true. I think he passed away before I was sapient. The head of the Brante family and a nobleman of the mantle, a senior judge at the Anizote prefecture. He was the first person in the family to get an education and achieve a noble title. Meritocracy? His dream is to see his family ennobled by the sword. A fierce defender of the ancient order, he is preoccupied with arranging the future of his family line. Mwah! 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 What a classic noble. I do apologize, Z Manifesto. I do not speak any language other than English. Learn fencing. We'll see what we can do. Okay, so Amalia L. Bourne, noblewoman of the sword, status true death. Your father's first wife passed away soon after giving birth to Stefan, never to be reborn. Oh, that's so interesting. So Stefan, is the true heir by primogeniture, right? If he's the oldest brother, he's set to inherit. We're the spare in the situation. A relationship indifferent? God, it sure would be wacky if she hated me in true death. Stefan's birth mother, she died while giving birth to him. She was a noblewoman of the sword and the sister of Augustine L. Bourne, a powerful family friend. The match between her and your father was your grandfather's doing. Amalia is said to have been a striking woman with a forceful personality who is proud of her noble origins. Kill your brother. Let's make this Crusader Kings 3. Absolutely not. Stefan Brante, nobleman of the mantle. Relationship +1. Still indifferent, but it's slightly better. Robert Brante's son from his first marriage and a noble by birth. From a young age, he has been striving to be first in all things and demonstrate his superiority to the family. He wants to inherit. He's the crown heir, or the heir apparent. That makes sense. Robert Brante, our father, nobleman of the mantle. Relationship +2. Sympathy. Golly. A nobleman of the mantle and a judge of the Anizote prefecture. Following in the footsteps of his father, Gregor, he earned a noble title and a position at the prefecture. He works tiredly in his judicial service for the sake of his family. He took your low-born mother, Lydia, as his second wife, thereby jeopardizing the family's noble future. Ooh! Ooh! We love it. Oh, my poor father. My poor father, an absolute dipshit who married for love. Lydia Brante Lowborn +2 sympathy. A humble commoner from the outskirts of Anizote. Neither her lowly origins nor the fact that your grandfather directly forbade the marriage stopped your father from taking him into his home. So this is why we have a -1 relationship with our grandfather. Our grandfather is like, I hate what you represent, which is your father having any sort of free will or thought, which is exactly what you want from a feudal society. A humble commoner from the outskirts of Anizote, neither her lowly origins nor the fact that your grandfather directly forbade the marriage stopped your father from taking her into his home. He now manages the household and raises Robert's children. Your mother is devoted to her faith and insists that her children observe their lots. So lots is with a capital L. Definitely a little bit of energy with regards to your estate that you're born into, right? Z Manifesto, again, I do terribly apologize. I cannot read or understand that, but I hope my apologies and or congratulations, depending on what you're saying. Hey now, there's nothing wrong with marrying for love. Let me be clear. Marrying for love, 10 out of 10. In the real world, you should marry with consideration towards what you need and your emotional fulfillment, I think. You're going to be spending your life with that person, theoretically. Life has a funny way of throwing us curveballs, but in the world of fantasy power dynamics and petty nobles, you love a good arranged marriage. This is all about noble houses, exactly. And we're definitely going to leave a lasting legacy. Wink. Elish, This Is Us. You get it. Family. I want to look at her sister real fast. She's indifferent, but +1, which makes sense. We're all growing up together. Lowborn, also lowborn. Our older brother, nobleman of the mantle. Interesting. The illegitimate daughter of your mother, Lydia. She has never met her real father. No! No! Not just a lowborn mother, but also with an illegitimate child in the line of succession? Oh! Okay. Try not to catch cholera from the water. We'll see, yeah. Maybe we'll even make it out of childhood. Gotta beat those medieval odds, it's true, yeah. Forced marriages are ew. Arranged marriages are cultural. Exactly, the Faramond. Oh, wow. Mesvia, you popping these into Google Translate? I appreciate that. Okay, let's rock and roll. The illegitimate daughter of your mother, Lydia. She has never met her real father. Her position in the family is precarious. Robert Brante has never acknowledged her as his own daughter. Your sister is a dreamer. No. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I have another friend. They pop into streams sometimes. We had talked about arranging an illegitimate daughter arc into my story about Elish and the Demeist estate. And there is so much stuff in there that is so fun. Just on a conceptual story building perspective, right? Your sister's a dreamer. She often has her head in the clouds and can act recklessly at times. Okay. Destiny, whatever we're doing in here. Personality, House of Brante. Ooh, I do love tree motifs. Full confession, my thing about really liking a Game of Thrones or a Song of Ice and Fire, I have a big thing for the Tyrells and Highgarden. Our house's reputation is tarnished. The honor of your family and your position in high society, it affects how the nobility treats your family. We are relatively wealthy. Moderate means, the financial state of your family, the level of your income and possessions. And unity represents how close and trusting your family is. No! It affects the fate of your family members. And again, the current heir is Stefan Brante. Robert Bronte's son from his first marriage and a noble by birth. From a young age, he has been striving to be first in all things and demonstrate his superiority to the family. So again, we know that he is the heir apparent, right? The rest of these appear to be locked. So let's rock and roll. You thought I said Hightower? Hightower is very... I'm gonna be honest with you, Sathis, and I know this is gonna hurt you, because you've been watching House of the Dragon. I fucking love Hightower. Hightower, any low fantasy medieval faction where they are playing the feudal game correctly and get hosed over by fantasy and magic and other horse shit. I love that tragedy. Okay. Let's keep rocking and rolling. You've quite been enjoying House of the Dragon. It's neat. It's very good. It's based off of George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood, which really does read like a history textbook. I'm not gonna lie to you. Which, do you want to read a history textbook when you're reading for pleasure? But the problem is that I do, and I did. So there you go. You love to hate them? No, here's the problem with hating Alicent, because don't get me wrong, I get why people hate Alicent. Girl is not dragon-blooded. Girl is just doing her best. And you know what? She's doing damn good with what she got. But that's another conversation for later. All right, begin chapter. Birth. At first, there was nothing. No time, no sensation, nothing but darkness and void. But then a will, capital W, breathed life into nothing. Matter and spirit were set in motion. History began its march. It was your turn to enter this world. Your first memory, you were lying on your back, blinded by a bright white light. You were not alone. Okay, this is a way to introduce concrete, real gods that are a part of the world. Above you tower the colossal figures of those who created you. Not gods, parents, never mind. Oopsie poopsie, not gods. You are a part of them, and they are a part of you. Between you and them is an inexplicable connection, a strong and unbreakable link. They will always watch over you, guard you, and protect you. That ain't Elish's parents. It hurts to breathe. You let out the pain in the form of a desperate scream. Your creators extend their hands towards you. There are two of them, the ones who made your form from them their own selves and brought you into this world. They are united, yet as you lean closer, you begin to see how different they are. You can already feel their differences within you, struggling against one another. The first figure is soft and emphatic, wise and merciful. A little bit of that cult of domesticity energy, but that's fine. The love that emanates from it wraps you head to toe like an invisible blanket. The warmth from it is never ending. The second figure is strong and powerful, commanding and noble. It is harsh but fair, a beacon of guidance, a force of protection, and merciless punishment for every misdeed. Yet there is also a third figure. Oh, and this is going to be our brother, Stefan. Oh, man. Oh, man. Talk about the antithesis, right? There's two big figures, and they love you, and they will take care of you. And then also there's this little shit. It is like a shadow barely seen behind them, yet already pulsing with an unbreakable will to live. It is the very will to live that is now growing ever stronger within you. A soft, open palm, a strong, closed fist, a lingering, distant shadow. You struggle to loosen the swaddling cloths wrapped around you and extend a tiny hand into the world. Reach out to the palm. You grasp the first of the figures by the finger. Reach out to the fist. You place a tiny hand on the second figure's closed fist. Smile at the shadow. You smile at the figure standing behind them. I don't know. I think Elish has just been born. He's a little kid. He's looking for comfort. The most comforting figure is the one that he would lean towards. Your little palm awkwardly clasps the soft finger. You explore your mother's hands by touch. She smiles gently as her arms wrap around you and lift you up. She smells of home, that indescribable smell, that feeling of safety that is second to none. Her embrace is the warmest place in the world, a place you want to stay for all eternity. Aww. +1 perception. Inattentive still. Sure. Your life in this world begins. How will you live it? We are 1 year old. Hide and seek. As the days go by, you learn to tell your parents apart. You recognize father by his heavy breath and strong, cold hands. He visits you rarely. Robert Brante. Hello there, little ellish Brante. Mother's tender voice, however, follows you day and night. Ah, you're growing so quickly, my child. I feel mixed about these, like, little... bips. We'll talk about it. There are 2 more children in the family, named Stefan and Gloria. Gloria sings songs to you. She often dresses you in tight clothing and gently holds your hand as you learn to take your first steps. Stefan likes to sweep you up and pinch you and toss you into the air. This family is so fucked. Oh, look, this is your brother and sister. Yeah, you're my little brother. We're gonna play together, but I'll always be in charge because you were born a commoner. Be quiet, you. He doesn't understand yet. Come on, baby Elish, let's go play in the yard. Baby Elish. Baby Elish. It is hot outside. You grip your brother's hand with one hand and your sister's with another as they help you walk down the giant stone stairs. Then you sit on the ground and start exploring the sparse blades of grass with your fingers. It tickles. In the sky, far above and away from you, is a gigantic pillar, a perfectly straight stick made of light. It is so bright, it hurts to look at it. Why are you staring at the shining pillar? It's not going anywhere, you know. Hey, I want to play hide and seek. Oh, Stefan. He's just a little baby. How's he gonna play? Then you hide him, and I'll try to find both of you. You have no idea what they are talking about, but you support them with happy cooing. This is strange, but so exciting. Can we talk about just, like, the pillar of light? Okay, fine. Stefan and Gloria glance at each other. Then your brother walks to a big tree, closes his eyes, and starts shouting something. Gloria takes your hand and walks you through the yard. Your sister takes you behind some thick bushes by a tall wall. The light from that light stick on the horizon barely reaches here. That bodes ill. You can't see home from this place. The ground is crawling with tiny black bugs. Gloria sits you down on the ground and puts a finger to her mouth for some reason. And then she's gone. You can no longer hear Stefan's voice. Gloria is nowhere to be seen. You feel colder. The bugs are no fun to play with. You've been sitting here for a long time, completely alone. Nobody checks on you. Did they forget about you? Did they abandon you? Cry loudly. You start crying, hoping to be found. Find your way home. You get up off the ground, start crawling through the bushes to find your way back home. Sit there and wait. You start playing with leaves and twigs and little bugs. What would Elish do? I think find your way home, right? Like, I think the problem is, and this is a part of a learned behavior probably later in his years, right? I don't think he thinks about asking other people for help. I think his existence is very sort of solipsistic in hypothesis. So find your way home. If nobody else is coming to get him, if nobody else is coming to get me, I'll do it myself. Or, where, wife is hard, whoa. You get up on your feet, swaying a little bit. Carefully, you take a first step, then lose your balance and plop down on the ground again. But you are determined. You get up again and keep walking in the direction Gloria went. You walk out of the bushes and further toward the wall of the house, and then the most tender and gentle hands in the whole world embrace you and pick you up. Mother has found you. There you are. You lean on Mother's chest and hold on to her with your arms. You want her to know that you came here all by yourself, without any help. She pats you on the head. Your brother and sister stand behind her, clearly feeling guilty. Gloria is in tears. Stefan is staring at his feet. You hug Mother tightly. She is here now. Oh no! We don't want a lot of determination for Elish. This is not what I had hoped for, but it's fine. Okay, so we're 2 years old now. The Great Descent. Another memory. You are still a little child, but you can already talk and run around on your own. Today is out of the ordinary. Father is busy around the house, giving orders to the servants. Throughout the day, the kitchen has been abuzz with work, and there are solemn, gloomy preparations and candles being lit. Even your older brother Stefan is quiet today. Mother takes your hands and brings you to your sister Gloria. Is our grandfather dead? My son, oh no! Okay, it's a religious ceremony. My son, today is the Great Descent. We honor the day when the twin gods descended to us. We must spend this day in reverence to the gods. You are too young to understand, so just do everything your sister says for now. Gloria takes you to the playroom. There are no toys there, no chairs. Even the carpet has been taken away. There is nothing there but a bare wooden floor. Well, time to practice some self-flagellation. Today, we're not allowed to go to any other rooms. We'll be eating nothing but gruel and stale bread. On the day of the Great Descent, everyone must be where they belong. Woo! Oh man, a religion that's like, everything is exactly as it should be. We love the status quo. The status quo is divine. It is quiet, unusually so. Muffled voices from beyond the door are all you can hear. You're sitting on the cold floor, confused, with no idea what to do. Then you hear your sister's voice, a lonely sound in the empty room. It is a little song that Mother taught her. You hold your breath as you listen to it. When the twins came down to earth, they brought lots for every birth. Let us count them, 1, 2, 3. The twins made them for you and me. Nobles rule and bravely fight. They protect us with their might. Noblesse oblige. Priests work hard to understand. Guide us by the twins' commands. Common people work and toil. Always patient, never spoiled. Oh! That hot propaganda, fresh off the presses. Leave your lot where you were born, to the day when you pass on. Know your plot and know the prayer, for the twins see everywhere. You are transfixed by the tune. Gloria notices your gaze, and a smile creeps across her face. You like the rhyme, don't you, Elish? Do you know what it's all about? Look, there are 3 lots. So, the concept of this, right? A completely empty room, absolutely nothing. Gloria and Elish are commoners. So this is what you deserve, right? And so Gloria singing, doing some sort of accoutrement, making some sort of decoration, making something sort of better. Ooh. And like the idea of Gloria explaining this to a child who is 2 years old, the 2-year-old child is not going to understand this necessarily, but it's expedient, right? We will learn this over the course of a lifetime, but also, it is being taught to us in this microcosm, in this scene. Look, there are 3 lots. They were brought to us by the twins when they descended to us from the shining pillar. Remember that pillar of light on the horizon? That's it. You can see the shining pillar anytime, from anywhere in the world. I don't know. I think baby Elish remembers hide and seek. There are plenty of places where you can't see the shining pillar. If you follow your lot as you live, you'll reach the peak of the pillar. And if you don't, you'll get eternal torment at the foot. Okay, so there is a concept that becomes popularized in Renaissance Europe, the concept of the bridge of divinity. And at one end is God and the angels and things like that. And at the other end, there is like animals and like rocks, right? And so the more perfectly divine you are, obviously the higher up the ladder you go, but you are then locked in place. You're not able to choose to do anything other than follow the divine plan. And the farther down you go, the more free will you have, but the more lost to sin you are. And so a lot of Renaissance Europe believed that humanity was special by virtue of being perfectly in the middle, as close to divinity as you can be while still maximizing free will. And so like I'm wondering how much of this is that, right? You and I are lowborn. Damn. Mother is a commoner too. So the lot for you and me is to suffer and be patient and work hard. Understand? The priests and the nobles have other lots. The nobles fight and rule over everybody. The priests, well, I'm not sure what they do, but I guess they talk to the twins and then teach everybody? Gloria stares at you intently. Did you get it, silly? Then she shakes her head and keeps singing the song over and over again. Her voice transfixes you, drawing you in. The room starts to glow like the sky. From the light emerges 2 figures you have known ever since the moment of your birth. One of them embraces your sister's shoulder, the other stands guard behind her back. You watch this happening before your very eyes, unable to turn away. Oh no, what's gonna happen? Gloria is swaying to the song, unaware of what is happening. She sings the final verses once more. Lo, you know your lot and know the prayer. You feel compelled by this divine sight to express yourself somehow. You feel words condensing within you from the light. But what will these words be? Okay. When Elish loses his faith in Halone, it's a very purposeful thing, because Halone doesn't answer his prayers, right? So of course, little baby Elish is gonna finish the song properly. Of course he is. You join your sister and finish the song the same way you heard it. Know your lot and know the prayer, for the twins see everywhere. Yeah, this is very good for me. Does this imply that there are no levy forces? It's probably chivalry in the same way, people's DM, right? So there probably is a levy force, but they're seen probably as disreputable, unreliable, etc., right? But we'll see. Maybe there isn't. Oh my god. That little musical sting there. You sing the last line together with Gloria. Your sister looks up at you in surprise and gives you a nod. So the shining pair, is the shining pair our parents or is the shining pair the gods? Because I thought it was our parents. The shining pair standing behind her back turn to look at you. You can feel their gaze piercing you from top to bottom. When the moment passes, they melt into the dim light coming from the window. Gloria turns her head to look at where you were staring. Did you see something, Elish? You shake your head. Not anymore. So our perception is now 2. We're curious. Why not both? Bit of both? Yeah, that's fair. Spring the origin. You are starting to understand more and more of what the adults say. Your family is an unusual one. Your father is a nobleman, but not by birth. His is a title earned through great service. But your mother is a low-born commoner. A low-born woman, a commoner. Because of this, you were born a commoner, but father says you may yet come into nobility. You learn to read at an early age. Together with mother, you read and learn by heart the many poems about the divine twins, the twin gods who reside upon the shining pillar. Mother calls these poems prayers. Again and again you try to discern the shape of the gods in the strip of holy light that shines in the sky all day and night, but the light is too blinding to gaze upon. I said there weren't going to be aliens. I swear to God, if the twins turn out to be fucking aliens, I'm gonna scream. The greatest joy of all is when the stairs are no longer an insurmountable obstacle. Now you can climb and even jump from step to step. Father urges you to be more careful and avoid climbing too high. But even though you keep falling, you never stop being curious about the world around you. Your older brother Stefan now spends less and less time playing with Gloria and you. Playing with commoners is beneath a nobleman to be, he says. So Gloria calls him names, and Stefan pulls her pigtails. One fine evening, Father gathers you all in the sitting room with an announcement. You will have another little brother or sister soon. Gloria asks him to bring home a little sister. Another brother would be too much. Stefan gets frustrated. There are too many little siblings getting in his way as it is. Soon, you will be an older boy too, and it doesn't really matter who the youngest will be. A boy or a girl, you will love them the most. When Father comes back from his trips, he reads his adult books aloud for you. You find those stories of wars, generals, and rebellions quite enchanting, and Father approves of your fascination. Child Elish staring into the sun pillar, yeah. The double meaning of don't climb too high is loud, fair, yeah. Read me your adult books, Daddy. Could you imagine if Robert Brante was reading straight up smut? Now listen here, baby Elish. This is what we call the Playboy magazine. Study hard and maybe one day you'll become a noble of the mantle and earn your sword. But first, you need to grow up. Growing up. The concept is as terrifying as it is alluring. Here it comes! Here it comes, the tragedy. The lot of suffering. You keep staring at the carpet under your feet. You are both ashamed and proud, and it feels odd. A scratch on your hand stings a little. Stefan is standing next to you, sniffling from pain. Your brother was training in the yard with a wooden sword. You wanted to play with him, but he ended up getting angry and throwing the sword at you. The stick hit you in the shoulder. You picked it up and hit him with it. You see Mother's shoes walking to and fro on the carpet. You do not want